What's good, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome back to the channel. As today it is Monday, so that means we're going to take the draft simulator on a ride, and we're going to go through a 3-round Kansas City Chiefs mock draft and see what best selections we can make with the simulator. But before we do dive into that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, because I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chiefs related that you do not want to miss out on. As you see, we're going to dive into another simulator today. What I'm basically going to try to do on this one, as you guys do know, as if you are checking it out every week, I do it every Monday until the draft kicks off. It'll be delayed next week because I will be out of town, so I'm going to try to squeeze it in on Wednesday, or I'll give you my final mock draft. We'll see how things shake and bake and how that all works out to be. But with this, I'm going to do how I kind of want it to project and how I'm envisioning to project, which means before we even get started in this, I'm going to trade up. Now, I'm not going to do a crazy trade up, and I know I didn't get a lot of fans on the Jamison Williams. I understand why a lot of fans don't want to trade up that high. I'm just saying don't forget about it, because it could happen, and KC could project that. But as we do move in today too, we had Mahomes, McCole Hardman, Andy Reid talk about this offense on today was the first day of voluntary, not mini camp, but I guess training, whatever you want to call it. Maybe we'll call it mini camp, because that's what it used to be called. It probably still is called that. I'm just drawing a blank. Been a long day, but he seems like he's really liking his receiving core. He's liking the bigger guys in this offense. He's liking every dimension that they have with speed, bigger guys. We've mentioned that this receiving core is more diverse now. That means they could do anything he likes. That he feels like when he overthrows these guys in this practice out in Texas with this training, that they're making these plays. They're catching the ball. He's like, damn, I'm thinking I'm overthrowing them. That doesn't happen to be the case, which could lead me into a situation what I had last week, where I traded out of a pick for Drake London and I went with a defensive player. Now, if Mahomes is really digging these big guys, and it's been known that the Chiefs have listened to his input with the draft, a la Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he mentions, hey, I want a big body receiver, make a play for Drake London, that might be what we're doing here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be interested in the Arizona Cardinals pick here, and I'm going to trade up 5 spots and try to get that pick. I think the 29 and the 62 pick will get that done. We'll have to see how we could play around with that and maneuver, and hopefully it does. I don't want to give up too much. And then my next scenario would be at the 30th pick. If a player isn't there that we don't like, we're going to trade back and hopefully into that 40 to 50 range. And then you get your two second round picks, and if they give us a third, let's have fun with that too. Let's have 3 third-round picks. But let me cut the talking. Let's get the simulator started, and let's have some fun. Now let's draft. Let's see how this goes. And people I mentioned too is, why don't you choose a different simulator? I don't know. I'm comfortable with this one. I've seen other ones. I see ones that are really good too, that I'm just like, man, do I really want to? There's some you got to pay for, and I'm like, I'm not going to pay for a month and see how it is. And if there are other simulators you guys like out there, let me know. I'll test them out. We'll have fun with it. I'll let you know I don't really like PFF, so we'll avoid that. But we're stuck with this one. We're going to have fun, and I'm talking, and we're going to restart this because I didn't even do what I wanted to do. And Cardinals are making a trade here. See what happens when you get to talking? You mess the whole thing up. We're going to restart this. And I'm going to do it before I even start talking. Now, people are going to be like, well, why don't you wait to see what's on the board? You just seen I messed up by over-talking myself. So we're just going to propose a trade. I'm just going to go NFC. I'm going to go to the Cardinals. They have the 23rd pick in the first round. It's Casey moving up 5 spots. People might not think it's a lot, but like if a George Karlaftis falls, let's say if a Drake London falls, Chris Olave, did I say Jermaine Johnson? If I didn't, if he falls too, 5 spots makes a big difference, and especially if you're trying to leap up for a wide receiver over teams like a Bills, they can need another receiver, or the Green Bay, we know they need another receiver. This is a more likely trade than the Chiefs actually jumping all the way up into like the 13, 15 range. Not saying it's not possible, but I would prefer this type of trade. That way you don't lose too much of your draft capital, and you're still making a play on someone who could have fallen to you there. So, Arizona. Let's get this out the way. We don't need no ads in our face. Let's go next. We will do the 29th pick. We want your 23rd. And we will give you the 62nd. Let's see if they shaking with that. Boom. So as you see, the proposed this trade would take the 29 and the 62nd. Confirm. Your trade has been accepted. Let's go back to the simulator now. And let's let it do what it needs to do. So now we got the 23rd pick. Let's resume this draft. We got the 23rd pick and the 30th pick as it stands at the moment. I'm liking how this draft is shaking up. It looks more legit than it usually does. So that's a good thing to see. It's actually looking really, really good. Kind of realistic. Jermaine Johnson off the board. So was there really a reason to trade? We got Drake London off the board. We will see. We will see. We are up. We are picking. And like I mentioned. So this is actually really interesting. And this is going to be something, too, that I think KC will be in, I don't want to say dilemma, but we'll put dilemma. You got George Karlaftis on the board. You addressed edge rusher right away. I would love to go that route, and I think you do. Chris Olave is on the board. Another interesting receiver. Let me know in the comments down below. Who would you prefer as a 23rd pick if KC was to trade up? Would you go George Karlaftis or would you go Chris Olave? What I'm going to do here, and I'm just building off of today, and you know how this changes day by day. Mahomes is liking his receiving core right now. Not saying they won't draft a receiver. Upper management, higher management, they'll decide what they need. But defense is more of a bigger need right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draft George Karlaftis. Get you a solidified edge rusher for the future. I love it. And if Chris Olave happens to be there. See, now this is the kind of scenario I like to see. It really is. So you got Buffalo. They probably want Chris Olave heavy. Does KC ignore that? They want to give you the 57th, which means you got your second round pick. And now you get a third round pick. And then you get a next year's 2 and a next year's 3. That's kind of hard to decline, like even with Chris Olave on the board. But, man, that would be beautiful. Chris Olave was there at 30. But let's see what else we got cooking in this trade pool. Lions, that's not as sweet as what Buffalo's offering me. And then next, Houston's offering me some nice stuff, too. Houston's actually offering me probably what I really want, which is the 37 and the 68. 68, I don't know if that's the beginning of the third. So you get 2. I might like that. I might really like that. I know a lot of people are going to jump on my ass just the way they did about Drake London trading out of this. Like, KC will never trade out if Chris Olave is there. True. Could be very, very, very true. But I'm also going to play a devil advocate to Buffalo. I do not want Buffalo getting Chris Olave. So I'm going to make this trade. I know there's more trade capital with what Buffalo's given up, but we pick in 7 spots again, and then we get an early third-round pick. So we get 3 third-round picks. You get your 2 second-round picks. KC fans, you all be talking about you want that draft capital. I think this one's looking really good here. I'm going to accept it, and let's hope Texans give Davis Mills another weapon. Let's watch. They went with Kier Elam, and then the Steelers went with Chris Olave. Not a bad choice whatsoever. And now KC is on the clock. Chargers, I don't give a damn what you offering me. I definitely ain't going to help you out, and that is not good enough for me. It's a lot of capital. I will give it that. That's really good, but I'm not going to. We focus on that. Y'all built your team up already. We still trying to find the pieces and build up too, so that's what we're going to do. And I see a player that Chiefs Kingdom will love that I'm going to draft right here. Dallas, that's another solid. But nope. Reject. You guys, it seems like Chiefs Kingdom, every time we go through one of these, the biggest takeaway I get in any player I pass or any player I never mention or talk about, Devontte Wyatt. And if he's there early, second round, I will agree. You have to take him. You got your edge rusher in George Karlaftis. Now you get Devontte Wyatt too. We showing up a defense here. I'm telling you that right now. Devontte Wyatt at pick 37. I'm loving it. And now, this is going to be interesting with our next pick, what we're going to do here at 50. If a good receiver's on the board, you go and you take them. Eagles want to trade up one spot. I'm going to view to see what we have. I'm not trading up one spot. Definitely not for pick 124. I'm going to need something sweeter. So, we do got interesting. Quay Walker, he's an interesting linebacker blowing up. I think he can honestly be an earlier second-round pick than this. Roger McCreary is another good cornerback. Jahan Dotson, a good wide receiver. I think this is his value range right here, and honestly, I would really love that pick at pick 50. Drake Jackson, you can double dip early if you want to. I like Drake Jackson a lot. Great pass rusher. Very raw, but explosive. He knows how to do his thing. Christian Harris, Chad Moma. I love Chad Moma, and I never pick him. And I'm not going to either because I don't think this player is going to be here. And now there's rumors that he could be a late first-round projection. Let's get Kyler Gordon. Let's get a cornerback. Now we're really having fun with this defense. So you got your cornerback, you got your edge rusher, and you got your defensive tackle. We're building up this team slowly but surely, and we're going to have fun with it. Like I said, the Chiefs look like they're enjoying their receivers right now. Now, do I 100% buy into it? Not really. But, hey, if you can solidify this defense and then focus on receivers later on, let's do it. And also, it feels like it's been a hot minute. There's a lot of good receivers on the board. Let's just click receivers. Let's have fun with it. Because I think this, if you're going defense that heavy on, you might as well go receiver here. Going to let you know right now. Skyy Moore, he's not going to be there. Jalen Tolbert, he might not be there. And I'm honestly growing. I might like Jalen Tolbert a little more. That's funny to say. But I really love both prospects. This is probably because I've been watching a lot more Jalen Tolbert as of late. And I already seen a lot of Skyy Moore. But I think for the value and what it is and what it will do, and he will never fall in the third round, so we're going to make it a little unrealistic. But basically, this has been kind of unrealistic too. Let's get Skyy Moore in the beginning of the third round. Actually, this is really good. This might be one of my best drafts I've done. I'm actually really liking how this is shaking out. But like I said, it's a simulator, so it ain't going to end up turning that way next Thursday. Oh, I already got that. He's off the board anyways. Chargers. You trying to take some picks? I ain't trying to. Nope, that's not good enough for me either. So, defense. You guys saw last week I took Leo Chanel, so I don't want to kind of go back with that. There's another linebacker there, and Brian Asamoah. I probably pronounced that wrong, but it's going to happen. Let's see. I do like Isaiah Thomas a lot. I do think it's not, and I guess it's a little early. What I will do, and I just think it's because they're slim, and I don't think it's because they'll depend on it too heavy or too much. They definitely have in this free agency. And also, too, we've seen that, too. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Why is his name slipping my head? James Bradbury. So, it's looking like the closer we get to draft, the trade won't happen. But it's also looking like Giants might rather have to just release him, which could work out good for KC. That means KC can bring him in at his price, but that also means they might have to compete for other teams. So, when you compete with other teams, that asking price can get up there. So you would just have to see how it would be. But also, he'd have to be released first. But with that, I'm going to go with Cam Taylor-Britt at the 94th selection and get two cornerbacks in this draft. I think that's one of their weakest positions with edge rusher too. And I hope if it does work out my way, which it looked like it did, I'll reject this. And a lot of me tells me I really want to go running back because I know KC might in this draft, but I won't do that. Like, I strictly focused on defense and shoring up this defense, so I'm going to do it again just because he's my favorite at the moment in a late third round, early fourth round area. Isaiah Thomas, I love how he played last year. I loved what I've seen. Is he raw? Yeah, he very much is so. He's really only got one good year of tape, so you got to take that with a grain of salt, but you do need him, but you don't. Let him learn behind a Frank Clark for 1 year and hopefully gain some knowledge in the next year coming in. Not saying he hit the ground running, but get him more into the starting rotation and run with that, see how it goes. So I'm going to go with Isaiah Thomas. And that should wrap up our 3-round NFL mock draft. Let's see how we did. So, as I did mention, we traded up early. And well, not early, but 5 picks earlier. So, I still think it's good value, and I think it's something KC can really do. I think they can trade up into the earlier 20s with that 29th pick. They get George Karlaftis, a solidified D end, and then with that 30th pick, we traded back, and we still got a stud defensive tackle and Devontte Wyatt. At the 50th pick, we got Kyler Gordon, who could be a promising cornerback. There's potential rumors that he could go in the late first round, so keep your eyes on that. And then, of course, we got to go with Skyy Moore. Very, very unrealistic that he'll be there in the beginning of the 3rd round, but he's there for us, so we're going to have fun with it. Cam Taylor-Britt at the end of the 3rd round, too. You got 2 cornerbacks. You're building up that DB room. I like it a lot. And then you go right back to the defensive end pass rusher and Isaiah Thomas, as I mentioned before, not the basketball player, but he is a good young pass rusher that could develop into something in the future. I know you could be stockpiling picks in pass rushers that are raw and need development with Kando too. But, hey, if it turns out to be positive potential, I'm all for it. With that, Chiefs Kingdom, I will be checking out, and let's close this video out. And with that, Chiefs Kingdom, that will wrap up this 3-round NFL Simulator Kansas City Chief Edition. Let's do a quick recap. In round 1, we traded up to the 23rd pick. We got George Karlaftis. Then we traded back with our 30th pick, and we went to the 37th pick, and we got Devontte Wyatt. We stood still at the 50th pick, and we got Kyler Gordon. That's basically 3 first-round potential players. And then, I mean, if you want to have a little fun with it, we were able to sneak Skyy Moore into, which very unrealistic. But when he's there on the simulator, you got to take it. And then we're also able to nab players like Cam Taylor-Britt and Isaiah Thomas. With that, we are going to wrap it up and close it off. But let me know how I did down below. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Hey, grade this draft. Leave your mock drafts down and let me see how you guys are feeling and what direction the Kansas City Chiefs will go. But with that, I'm closing it out. Y'all take care. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. With that,